So today I'm going to talk about Moon Rahu Synastry, or Moon and North Node Synastry. So what happens when someone's Moon comes and conjoins another person's North Node or Rahu? So Rahu generally represents your current life or what you're looking forward in this lifetime, because Ketu is your past life. Ketu, as in the South Node, is your past life. So when you have somebody whose Rahu comes and conjoins with your natal moon, and if you have a healthy moon, this person can channel your energies into in a way where you can approach your current life goals properly without getting distracted from other things that usually keep you distracted from achieving your goals. So the Rahu person is here to support you to achieve your present life karma, present life. The Rahu person here to help you channel your goals so that you get to your present life goals faster. But what can happen is when there are afflictions over here. So let's say you have your moon and your Mars and your North Node together. Basically, you have moon and Mars, and the other person's North Node comes and falls and sits on your moon. There's also a Mars that is conjunct here, so this could create anger issues. This could create unnecessary hate on this person, unnecessary arguments. So this synastry works only when there's just a good moon conjunct a North Node, and the North Node is sitting alone, not with any afflictions. So Venus works well here if the Venus and North Node are conjunct for that person, and that falls on the moon. It creates immense amount of love, immense amount of sweetness, immense amount of romance, and Rahu will give you that romance and that delusional aspect of romance that often people crave in relationships, especially like how it comes in rom-coms or Bollywood romance. That this will give you. This is a manifestation placement, because sometimes the telepathy between the moon and the North Node person is so strong that when the moon thinks, the North Node provides. When the North Node thinks, the moon provides. Mostly the moon is here to nurture the North Node towards their goals. If you know what I mean. Like, I hope I made that clear. The moon is here to nurture the North Node towards the goals. Whatever the North Node wants to do, the moon will be there to provide for the North Node. Moon will be there to support the North Node. It need not necessarily be something they sit and work with every day. It need not necessarily be something that this person provides for them financially. It's not any of that. It could be just emotionally being supportive for the North Node person's goals, and that really helps when it comes to partnerships. So what are the negative aspects? I'll come back to the positive again, but what are the negative aspects? Delusion. It can create a delusional possibility of being able to do anything and everything. Like, you would have this immense idea of what love is, right? Like, you probably expected your partner to come and buy you a bouquet of roses every day, and what happened in the synastry is sometimes it happens and this person will get you a bouquet of roses every day. Or you would have this perfectly planned idea of what love is, and sometimes it manifests in this synastry. And sometimes you can get too immersed in the delusional aspect of what this possibly can be, that you start to expect too much from the moon person, and the moon person is not able to provide anymore, and they can get drained because the expectations of how North Node is. So what is North Node? Rahu is basically the head without the body, and Rahu wants to consume and consume and consume, and now this moon is here to give, and there is a mutual give and take over here. But what happens is sometimes the North Node can take too much and the moon can get drained. And this synastry works best when there's a mutual synastry where one's moon is over the other person's North Node, which by itself is a miracle or a God-given synastry. If any of you have that moon over North Node mutually with your partner, then you know what I'm talking about. There's no clashes anymore. You both are equally providing to each other. But when it's one way, let's say one person's moon is over the other person's North Node, and the other person's Saturn is over the other person's moon, then it can get very restricting for the North Node person whose moon, right? Like, what happens is the moon is nurturing the North Node person, and the North Node person's moon is conjunct the other person's Saturn. Now there is like a conflict of interest happening over here. Moon Saturn synastry and Moon Rahu synastry are completely different. The moon will provide for the North Node person in the name of manipulative control. Now, this is not a healthy relationship anymore. So you have to look at all this. Look at the Venus aspects. Look at the Jupiter conjunctions. Look at the Jupiter synastry. Moon Rahu synastry is a sweet synastry. People say Moon Venus is sweet. Yes, it is. But Rahu, the planet Rahu, works better in this Kali Yuga, which is the present life that we are living in, because everybody is driven with the idea of Rahu. Even cell phone that I'm recording this with is connected to Rahu. It's not connected to Venus. It's not connected to anything else. So when life has become about achieving goals, it's about who's fancier than the other, right? Like, because with all the things that is happening with Instagram publicity, TikTok and all that, Moon Rahu synastry can give out that illusion of a perfect couple where everybody loves them. They're famous after they got, those are the famous couples that you meet on TikTok, or people who are just famous for, being a couple. So that kind of an illusion can be created. Nobody is gonna like record a fight and show it to you, right? Couples fight, even a Moon Rahu synastry is gonna fight, but they're gonna just show all the immense possibilities of what this synastry can provide for you. So that is the delusional aspect that I was talking about. Still, it is not a very restrictive aspect, but like I said, it works best when it's just the moon and the North Node together, and if it's in a mutual synastry with each other, both the people have their moon conjunct each other's North Node, that also works really well. So the other thing that you need to consider here is Rahu co-rules the sign of Aquarius in Vedic astrology. So when Rahu co-rules the sign of Vedic astrology, Rahu in the synastry is going to behave like Aquarius. So there's not going to be a lot of restriction over here. There's going to be a lot of acceptance, a lot of providing, a lot of outgrowing restrictive habits that one had before getting into this relationship. So if you were in some kind of a toxic pattern, that this relationship can help you get out of that toxic pattern. It's a very expansive as synastry, so it's about expansion. It's not going to be restrictive like Moon Saturn synastry together. There could be a lot of risks that the partners are willing to take for each other. There could be this immense amount of what feels like love, like I'm gonna die for him, we can even survive poverty together, and we can even survive anything and everything as long as we have each other. This is this aspect. Literally, this is this aspect. And this is one of those aspects where I have seen people forgive each other for things that a normal person will never forgive. That is again the Aquarius aspect of how Rahu works. Aquarius is a humanitarian sign. In no way am I saying Aquarians will forgive infidelity just like that. It's just that in this connection, there's so much understanding between the two people that they're able to understand why somebody did something wrong more than on the what and how. Instead of pinpointing on each other's mistakes, they focus more on each other's goals and moving ahead with what they need to achieve in their life. So that's the aspect that these are the good aspects of the synastry. One of the negative things about this would be that falling instantly in love with that person, love at first sight, blindly concluding that this is the love of your life, because Rahu can delude you into concluding that. Just like how Moon Venus is too much sweetness. It can mean that the moon overly provides for the Rahu person. The Rahu person just utilizes the moon's nature to, take care of them, provide for them and all that. And this can lead to the moon not getting enough back, because the Rahu can get very selfish over here. It's about me. And if the moon gets a little unconscious about its boundaries, it can get very difficult for the moon to not know how to get out of the relationship, because now it wants to be around the North Node person. It knows that it's never going to get what it got over here anywhere else, but at the same time there's nothing that it's receiving back. The moon can feel a little restricted because Rahu, which is the co-ruler of Aquarius, is also co-ruled by Saturn. So that restriction, Aquarians can be very selfish when it comes to how they approach life early on. They can be very non-empathetic, they can be takers, and if that's when these two people meet, it can not work out. It can get this, I think it can make the moon person so vengeful and so spiteful, because fixed signs, the reason I'm saying it can have a fixed aspect is because of the North Node Synastry, and it can make the moon very spiteful because the moon is by itself an emotional planet. It's a feminine planet, and although it's a natural giver, once a feminine sign is bitten, especially moon rule people, they can hold grudges for such a long time. So that is how the synastry works, and I hope it helped. Let me know what you guys feel in the comments.